welcome to another episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Florida Man Friday, September 4th, 2020. We got everybody in the house today. I'm Will. We got Mark, Wes, the Beeve, Pat Cassidy. How you boys doing?
Full house, baby. Feeling great.
Yeah, feeling real good.
Doing real good over here.
Good. Beeve, you're still up at HQ, looking pretty nice. Gray walls intact. Now you got a Hard Factor sign behind
Check
you.
that out.
YouTube.com/Hard Factor News.
Our boy Andrew hooked it up. Yeah, things are good here at HQ again. Pretty chilled out. It seems like people are just coming in to do their thing and then leaving. Did the dozen today. That was fun. Or yesterday.
Good effort. You had the same strategy that I had on Barstool Breakfast version of the buzz-in game. Just buzz in all the time.
Oh, you just got to buzz in.
Yeah.
Got to buzz in. I caught up with Caleb.
But then you get a lot of negative points, though, too.
Well, yeah,
That's
you're not going to
true.
win, but it's more fun.
It's way more fun.
It's a lot more fun.
Way more fun. I caught up with Caleb. He's carrying a putter around, and he's
because he's trying to be a pro golfer.
Yeah, and I asked him. I said, "Do you think you can do it?" He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it." He's like, "I have." I was like, "What are you shooting?" He's like, 119. I was like, "Okay,
nice.
He's got just a little to go.
Got a way to go, but you'll get there, buddy. You'll get there." But he's stoked because he's getting like instruction from some of the best golfers in the world. So I think he's got a shot.
That's awesome.
Mark and Wes, you guys are dealing with like a storm down there while we record here, huh?
Yeah.
A little red on the radar down here.
Yeah, hopefully we don't drop the call.
I hope we can hear some thunder in the background of your microphone.
Yeah.
You might hear a fucking bus or a subway.
There was definitely. I was going to call you out yesterday's pod there or radio, I forget, but there was definitely a siren in the background. I don't know if it made it through.
Nothing you can do about it.
Freaking me out like I was getting pulled over. So hopefully that didn't fuck with anybody.
There might be a literal lightning round, if you know what I mean.
And before we get moving on to Florida Man stories, oh, by the way, we have an interview with Lane Pittman, probably the most Florida Man guy in Florida. I don't know.
Has to be.
Yeah.
He's the guy that fights the hurricanes. He's the guy that goes out in the hurricanes and he protects you. If you're in the path of a hurricane, Lane's out there with an American flag and Slayer just battling the hurricanes back. So
he's like Hurricane Jesus. He takes the sun.
No shirt.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. That's after the Florida Man stories up front, but we've got to talk about merch. All right. In the Barstool store right now, we have the HAGFD shirt. It is immaculate. That is new this week. We still have the Hard Factor logo tee. It is still looking very good. And also still have the Lockdown Turn Up tee available in the Hard Factor section of the Barstool store.
Sexy.
Lockdown Turn Up, reminder, that's charity for Meals on Wheels. HAGFD, Hard Factor logo. You're just going to look fantastic when you wear those. So get on it.
That HAGFD, if you're not on the social accounts, we've been posting it, but it's like red, white, and blue. It's like an American themed have a great fucking day. It's incredible.
I can't wait to wear it and have people ask me what it means.
You'll see it soon
amazing.
on us. It usually takes 2 to 3 weeks to get shipped.
Yeah,
but if you don't
sure.
order it now, they might take it down by the time you see it, and you're gonna really regret once you see it on YouTube and stuff. You're gonna be like, fuck.
Exactly. Get it now. Get it now while supplies last. I also stocked up on football season shirts and onesies for the baby coming up. So Barstool Stores got it all. Got it all.
Nice.
Boys, let's get it going.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm going to go first. That's cool. I got an interesting one for you from Scott Snyder. Scott Snyder sent this one in, and it's coming out of Flagler County, Florida, which is just north of Daytona Beach. I don't know if Daytona Beach is in that county. It looks like it's just a little bit south, so Flagler County right outside of Daytona Beach, right on that coast. And it's all about the misbehavings of 28-year-old former Flagler County Sheriff's Deputy Dodorius Luttrell Varnes, who's a bit of a creeper, guys.
That's a first name and a half right there.
Dodorius, huh?
It's an intense name, and this is an intense gentleman. In fact, he's a former sheriff's deputy because he was arrested in July when he was still on the job and in the uniform for felony stalking. And that alleged stalking was what happened was Varnes made over 50 threatening and apparently racist phone calls to a 67-year-old man that he had only one interaction with during an investigation of the man's complaint. So the man called in a complaint about his neighbor. Varnes showed up with another deputy to investigate, and that was it. I guess he didn't like the cut of this guy's jib, the 67-year-old, so he started harassing him for leisure when he was off the job.
Yeah. I got a question. At what point does does it become stalking? Like if I'm just casually showing up, like with my arms crossed, like leaning on a car wherever you are,
Stalking.
That's stalking.
Asking for a friend, Wes?
No,
That
I'm just
sounds like
wondering.
stalking, Wes.
It does sound like stalking, but
If I'm intimidating you in a parking lot and
what if
you
I'm
know
just,
that I'm
what if I'm
looking
just
for you,
smiling at you?
Yeah, you got another scenario you want to run by us? The first one's stalking.
The better question, Wes, is what makes it felony stalking? Is the
Right,
better
yeah,
question.
there you
go.
Yeah.
Well, for this first part of the story, Sheriff Rick Staley called Varnes' phone calls to that older gentleman atrocious and suspended him without pay while they were investigating him, because this was only like a month ago in July. The victim said the calls, which came in at all hours of the day, often ended with Varnes threatening to kill him. So that's probably part of the felony part there. Looks like Varnes in trouble again, though, guys.
Dorius is intense.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is you have to
I'm
make
gonna
a
kill
vocal?
you.
Do you have to make a vocal threat, or can like
Yeah.
if I'm, or do you just
Yeah,
like?
probably.
Okay.
It's also
Probably.
known as
So I'm wondering.
harassment, Wes. So if you're
Yeah.
harassing them, but Dorius is like MacGruber.
Why
Pretty
do you
much.
care, Wes?
It's a total MacGruber situation.
Because I think it's first of all I think the image is funny. Like oh you again? I'm just hanging out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it's hilarious unless you're the one being stalked.
let's hope Wes cuts the line off at misdemeanor stalking the way he's talking. It's gonna be one of the two. Looks like Varnes in trouble
I'm
again,
just
though,
stalking
guys.
you for the comedy of it, really.
Yeah,
So
he
like
got
is
arrested.
3 times a week too much, or where's the
Right.
line here? Because
If I spread it out, Varnes
I
got
follow
arrested
them on
again
vacation?
a week ago for the same charges, aggravated stalking, and a similar MO too. What happened is he showed up to a complaint last November of someone's mailbox getting smashed in. He talked with the female homeowner and told her it was a civil matter that she would have to deal with on her own, and left. That didn't sit well with the husband, who called in a complaint on Varnes, which is literally the last thing you want to do. Varnes was ordered to go back to the house to rectify the complaint, and he did. But instead of like trying to make the peace, he just started belligerently telling the husband to stop making complaints about him.
What?
Shortly
No,
thereafter,
no.
it gets much worse, Beef. Shortly thereafter, the husband started getting very inappropriate text from an unknown number saying things like the unknown sender was banging the husband's wife and would be continuing with the banging. The text
that's a hydrogen bomb in a relationship right there.
Dorius plays
whether it's true or
mental
not.
warfare.
Yeah, it
Well,
is. It's one of those fucked up things you can do to someone is plant that seed in their partner's head.
And then be like, she's
Yes.
gonna deny it.
Yeah.
That's
You're
what she would do.
You're absolutely right, Beef. But to make the hydrogen bomb even more hydrogen-y, the text included personal details of the wife, like how she looked, and the husband's home address, to add validity to the claims. And then the sexual shaming of the husband began, all while the texter was talking about how desirable he was sexually. And reading between the lines here, I think he was talking about. Jenny's on Jenny's. One Jenny's can please the wife while the other Jenny's couldn't. Then the pictures of the husband's house started coming in with text messages like, see this picture of me outside your house? I'm going to be inside your house real soon banging your wife.
yeah, that's stalking.
I got a
Yeah,
question.
that's yeah, there you go, Wes. Wes
That's
is
a
figuring it
line.
out.
So that's you finally that's the line is when he starts sending pics to him.
Well, if you're Darius's boss, like you're probably gonna get an inkling of this before Darius like really crosses the line. So what the fuck was he thinking sending Darius back to write a complaint against him? Like
Exactly.
you know
Pat.
Darius is a nut
Exactly.
job.
Like
you don't
said,
send Darius back.
It's MacGruber style. If anyone, it's clearly like whenever Darius showed up to his job and someone like told him he was doing a bad job, that was it. Then he was just stalking you until eternity.
And you gotta move in the middle of the night.
Yeah, exactly. The husband reviewed home surveillance video and saw a patrol car was driving past his home the same time the photos were being texted to him. So he called that in.
How creepy is that though? When you find out your stalker's a cop.
a cop? Yeah. So he called the cops and he's like, I'm pretty sure it's Varnes because he
Easy to catch him though,
he yelled
because
at
like
me.
because
Well,
like
yes.
yeah, easy to catch him, but still so creepy.
It's that
They,
Ray Liotta movie. The cop.
Copland?
The Ray Liotta movie where he's like a creep cop.
Copland?
No, I'll look it up. Keep going. Sorry.
They're the most identifiable people. They have like numbers on their cars and their badges. Like, I mean, if you did have a stalker, you'd rather it be somebody in uniform because you can probably easier identify.
It's like Wes showing
Unlawful
up.
entry.
Wes is showing up
entry.
at your house and he's got a shirt that says "I'm Wes" on it. That's
right.
like
Wes
the
is
equivalent.
just an ass kicker sweatshirt. It's like I don't know. He's a guy in an ass kicker sweatshirt.
Yeah. Well, obviously they found out that his patrol car's GPS was at the scene of this husband's house, and he was, Varnes was not stationed to be anywhere near there, so they busted him again. He's in trouble again, guys. Sounds like Varnes is going to kill someone soon.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he's like, I mean, they're going to get, he's probably off the force right after this. I mean, this
Yeah,
is,
he is. Yeah, he's fired. He's fired,
this is
and he
pretty
just posted.
bad.
He just posted bail. So whoever's on
right.
his
He'll
shit
be
list is
going
in
to
trouble.
jail for sure.
Well, whoever's on his shit list is about to get murdered. Like I
Yeah.
said, stalking is the cousin of murder, and he's already threatening to murder, the 67-year-old and stuff. Like, he's going to kill someone.
Keep
Anyways,
some eyes on Darius. Yeah.
He needs to get out of law enforcement, potentially into like customer service or something. But this is not. This is not
probably
the
not customer service.
This is not the role for him.
Yeah. You know
Call
what's more?
center. Oh, shit.
Oh, could you imagine? That would be pretty good. He'd have so many people on his list. You know what's more fun than being a victim of stalking?
What's that?
Gambling
What?
on the news, which you
Yes,
can
it
do, and you can get a free 20 to do so if you go to www.predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. No promo code needed. Go to that promo URL, create an account, and deposit at least $20, and you get a free 20. Totally legal in all 50 states, and you're gonna want to get in now because the fucking election season's in full swing, boys.
Yes,
Right?
Yes.
All right. Well, there's lots of good markets to bet on. We've talked about a few of them this week. The one I like the most today is how many votes will there be in the 2020 U.S. presidential elections? How many voters?
Whoa.
So this bracket is by it's like by brackets. So it's like under amount, and then like the over this amount, and then all in
bands,
between
yeah.
the bands, and it's by 3 million people is the difference. So in 2016, about 140 million people, 139ish million people voted. So right off the bat, if you think there will be more people voting this election, which I certainly do. I mean, population increased. It's a more intense time. People are talking about voting earlier. You can eliminate the first 4, let's call it 5 bands right off the bat. So just chop those bottom 5 bands off. And now what you have when you eliminate those 5 bands of brackets is you could totally buy the rest of the 7 highest brackets for 71 cents total. If you spread it out evenly, that's a 30% increase right there. Profit, not bad. But if you want to get more brazen and just pick one or a few of those higher bands that are like over 140 million, you can get them for each about 10 cents. And that would be 9 times your money in profit if you hit one of those. So also not bad.
That's great.
I like that.
Yeah. It's a fun one.
I see.
but
I'm
yeah.
looking at it right now.
It's a pretty good one. So seriously though, guys, there's a bunch of good ones. Get your account going now at www.predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 and get that free 20. You're going to want to get your feet wet before late October, early November when the boys here start betting their dicks off on the election. So
Yeah.
There
get
you
in
go.
Man, make sure that it's not a promo code. I got a shout out to Sam King because he sent me a DM that said he was plugging PredictIt, but it's not a promo code like you put in Hard Factor.
No.
You got to use that URL.
Don't go to PredictIt.org. Go to PredictIt.org/promo/hardfactor20.
Yes.
The 20 is for the free 20. All right, guys. Everyone on this show knows how addictive nicotine can be. I mean, all of us have resented smoking cigarettes and tried to quit countless times since we first inhaled that sweet and smooth tobacco smoke from a high-quality American-made cigarette. Am I right?
Oh,
Yes.
It's hard. It's hard.
Hard habit to kick, especially if you're drinking.
It's
You
hard.
guys want to
So-
take a break right now? 10-minute
Wouldn't
break?
mind it. Well, I'm a vape guy now. You know that. So this next story, guys, hits close to home for all of us. So 19-year-old Florida woman, Madison Ann Bryant, was having a bad Sunday night. First, on the way back from a party, she got into an argument with her boyfriend about their, quote, relationship issues. And Madison wanted out of the car stat. So her boyfriend pulled over on the highway to let her out. Natural. And that's when deputies arrived. They saw a car pulled over, pretty much not even on the shoulder. It was in the inside lane. So the cops, cops pulled up, and that's when Madison made her way to the median of the highway where she sat while the cops took her boyfriend into custody for DUI. So the police had already caught their big fish in the boyfriend, and they decided to let Madison go. And they waited with her as she tried to find a safe ride home. And according to the arrest report, boys, Madison told officers that she had to piss bad.
Been there.
And she wanted to do it on the side of the road. They told her that they would drive her to the gas station to relieve herself, but she stated she didn't want to wait. She had to piss now. And she proceeded to pop a squat, quote, directly in front of my patrol car, holding on to the push bar as vehicular traffic was passing by. So she was like literally using the front end of the cop car to support herself while she just pissed everywhere.
This may sound insensitive with the times being that they are, but one knock I have on police officers is that they don't let you piss until you get like all the way through processing, and that's not good. You know, that can cause cancer and stuff if you don't go to the bathroom, if you hold it in. That's just not okay.
Well, they're in a rock and a hard place situation because public urination is unfortunately a crime. Now, I think that's really where your gripe is.
Okay, the lawmakers. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think public urination. I mean, hey, no harm, no foul. Really,
you gotta go. You gotta go.
It's cruel.
Yeah.
What's worse is it can be a sex offense, which is like, come on, we all go. Let's not pretend that we don't go.
Everyone poops.
Everyone pees and poops, and some of us, period. Anyway, guys, this was about the time that the officers took Madison into custody. And they said in the report that it should be noted, quote, Madison was advised not to urinate on the side of the road several times. So they really didn't want her to do it, but Madison, she was about to blow an O-ring. So she went, guys. So cut to the ride back to the station and back to the police report. Quote, while I was transporting Madison to Lake County Jail, she was consistently asking me for her juul, smoking device she uses for anxiety, her vape, right? I would not give it to her. Madison asked me if I was married and had children. I replied to her question, and Madison stated that she was, quote, not trying to fuck that up, but she would, quote, suck my dick if I gave her her juul back. So,
Madison. Party girl.
Not a bad offer.
Not a bad officer. Madison, not bad looking.
No, she's not.
I like how she checked in with the officer first if he had a wife and kids, then said he
she would have felt better about it if he didn't, but she was still going to offer it either way.
Well,
So-
I don't know why she bothered.
he got the. I guess she got
Thanks
the.
for
She got
thanks
the
for
response
telling
that
me
he
I was going to
did.
give you a sloppy blowjob.
Offer still stands.
No, exactly.
Tough luck for them.
No matter what the reply was, Madison knew what she was prepared to offer, and she offered it. At which point the cop stopped responding to her and drove her to the station for booking. So Madison's in big trouble, and that's the end of that. But look, I get it. Sometimes you got to scratch that itch. You need a nicotine.
Let me
fix.
ask you a question. Do you have a wife? Because you're going to have to keep a secret from her because I'm about to blow you.
I'm about to suck your dick. Let me get that Juul. She loves that Juul, man. Juul should turn that into a commercial. Anyway, guys.
Juuls is, I mean, they are, having smoked regular cigs and Juuls, they do have a stronger pull.
You can relate.
what a glowing endorsement from Juul. Good call. This should be like a Juul commercial.
Yeah, she was like Big Dan Rodimer down there with Roddy Piper. Anyway, guys.
Rodimer.
Rodimer. I know. This story brought to you guys is brought to you by our sponsor, Caliper CBD. Let's talk about it real quick. What's great about CBD? It helps you feel better.
Everything.
And you don't have to make drastic changes in your life. It's just a little thing that you can throw into your life that's going to make your life a little bit better when you need to chill. I personally put it in my night drink. I have a glass of water next to my bed. Pop open one of those 20 milligram packets, perfectly portioned. Pour it in my drink. I put on a little below deck, or right now I've kind of been getting into $1 million listing after Wes recommended it on yesterday's show. Great show, by the way, Wes, but you have no shot of selling $1 million homes. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's mean.
Oh, come on. No.
That's mean.
We'll take that up again
nice-
on radio.
nice
We'll take that up
Etsy
again on
shirt.
radio.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Getting a lot of compliments on it. Anyway, so I drink that down. I get my chill on, guys. And the great thing about Caliper is it's not in one of those crappy, weird tinctures, like the droppers. It's gross. You don't know how much you're getting. Your hippie girlfriend is complaining that you're taking too much or too little. Fuck all that. We got 20 milligram packets, perfectly portioned. And best part about it, guys, Caliper CBD, the powder form, it's clinically proven that you absorb 450% more CBD than tinctures. What? 400
What?
What?
Works unlike any other CBD product ever assembled.
Yeah, are these made up numbers? They're not. They're real.
When you hear 450%, you're like, a mistake has been made. It's like an Office Space when they realize they got too much.
Exactly. You start fingering the trigger of your gun because now that you've heard about it, not having it is impossible. And you can have it, guys. Just order Caliper.
What is the gun? Never mind. Keep
Well, I
going.
just mean if someone
Get out of
You're
my
gonna
house.
you're gonna click that link.
if
the
someone
one that he's about to give you.
if someone tells you, hey, I can do 450% more, and then once you hear that that's possible, if
You
then
kill them and take their secret.
well, if they try to take it away
When you
from
fire
you,
the trigger, regardless of what that means. You don't. You don't know where the trigger's going
Right.
or what kind of trigger it is, but you're
now
gonna fire
you guys
it.
get
Like
it.
Yosemite Sam, you just woo!
But the good thing about it, guys, is you don't have to because it is real, and you can have that secret, and you won't want to after you drink some Caliper. You're going to be chilled out.
That's true.
No weird taste, no oily residue or mouthfeel. Right now, guys, if you want to get a discount on your first order of Caliper CBD, do it. All you got to do is use the code FACTOR, FACTOR, at trycaliper.com/factor. That's CALIPER. Try caliper.com/factor. Enter the promo code factor. Get 20% off your order. That's going to be pretty cool. You can try it risk-free for 30 days, but you're not going to need it.
No. So
No.
real quick, I want to say excellent radio show on Thursday, gentlemen. Which was the $1 million listing. But I do want to bring up one complaint I have. Not a one of you defended David Blaine for going up 25,000 feet in the air. You asshole!
illusionist?
It's not a bad stunt. It's
It
not
wasn't
a bad
an illusion.
stunt, but it's a stunt.
Well, then change your
Yes.
fucking name to Stuntman, not Illusionist.
Time out, guys. He doesn't have to be a magician his whole life.
It's a stunt.
Yeah, so it was an awesome fucking stunt. Like, you're going to judge him because you have this stereotype in your head that he's a magician, a street magician or something?
That's what he calls himself,
That's
an
right.
illusionist.
Well, it doesn't matter. He went up on 25,000 feet in the air with his arms dangling. I get scared in a ride that's like 50 feet in the air with my arms dangling. Like 25,000 fucking feet.
it's impressive.
It was very impressive. Very
There was
impressive.
no danger the entire time. It
That's
was
not true at all.
completely
It was-
dangerous.
It was hard to watch. It was so dangerous.
You know what it was? It was an impressive stunt.
Literally,
Yes,
Mark,
it
the
was
movie,
a very impressive stunt.
the movie
one of
Up
the best ever
is
done.
harder to watch. The movie Up is harder to watch. The thing that inspired the stunt, the animated film, is harder to watch than his stunt because it was sad. And his stunt was just vanilla. I'm sorry.
But I
You're
still
wrong.
want him to change back to stunt. I want him
Top-
to change his title to Stuntman.
Top 5 stunts ever performed. But
He should
continue.
just take
top
over
5.
Evil Knievel. That's what I was saying.
Here, I'm on his
Yeah.
website. I'm going to buy you a pack of David Blaine playing cards, Mark, because you're such a big fan.
Please do.
Yeah,
and then
he'll
I'll-
love him. It
Yeah,
sounds-
please do.
Yeah.
You can do
I can't wait for his next stunt.
Yeah, he's gonna walk around the world.
honey, do you remember when we
Ooh, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be underwater, deepest underwater, which
whatever
is going to be intense.
Like, to his 7-year-old? Do you remember all the exotic travel we did with your 7-year-old ass to train for this? Like, fuck
Sign
you,
up for
dude.
Sirius XM to hear some more insightful conversations. Like
Yeah, all right.
good.
I derail. I'm sorry.
There you go.
got a
No, it's fair.
chain
All right.
wallet with the ace of spades on it. We'll get you that.
This next one comes from Seth Dillon and Fritz the Cat. So you're an esteemed company there, Seth. So thank you both. And guys, the planets finally aligned down in Florida. It was bound to happen at some point. Frankly, I'm shocked it didn't happen sooner. But a 22-year-old man from Northport in Charlotte County, Florida, by the name of Bounty Sheremy, has done something that he will never live down, and that we frankly should thank him for. Because you see, Bounty went out and had a few pops. Decided it was a good idea to get behind the wheel of a car. Extremely bad idea. And while driving home, allegedly distracted by his cell phone, this fucking idiot managed to hit a drive sober or get pulled over police sign.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
You know
he did all the things he's not supposed to do. He's drunk and he's on his phone. Right?
Yeah, lots of mistakes were made, starting with his parents naming him Bounty.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
his name again?
Bounty Sheremy.
Bounty. Jesus. You know, the cops had a good laugh when they showed up and they saw the sign he hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
they had an amazing laugh.
Yeah.
Is he drunk? Yeah, his liver's super absorbent.
Yeah. So
Bounty.
it was
Well,
Yeah.
that's a different bounty even than the obvious one, the low-hanging fruit bounty.
right, exactly. Yeah, it was all in the middle of this drive sober or get pulled over campaign that the county was having. So they had all these signs up. You know, those ones that like they pulled like they got the wheels on them and they're made big metal with LED lights. One of those guys.
They created the worst environment imaginable for Bounty.
Yeah, for sure. So he knocked it over.
Like a moth to a flame.
Yeah. When deputies arrived, he blew a .166, which is twice the legal limit, and he had no
Definitely too
idea.
drunk to be driving. Yeah.
No, yeah. Well, he had no idea what he even hit. He told him he was coming from a study session.
What?
Yeah. They just found him with,
He's
I guess, his car.
blacked out at 1.1.
Yeah, exactly.
I hit something.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to play a little devil's advocate here because you should never drive drunk, but I'm willing to bet that those police signs get hit more than we think because of where they're placed. This one was right in the middle of the road. Looked like it was like in the middle of like one of those center turning lanes or something. I mean, I'm sure you guys have maybe
You think
seen.
they're going
No,
for this?
you know
I
what
don't think they're
happens?
going for it, but they
You know what
those things
happens?
get hit more than often.
He
more
was
than they don't.
brown to black out, and he saw the sign that said "Don't drive drunk," and he then thought, "Oh, drinking," and then he thought it was like a beer or a bar, and then he drove into it.
Or he saw it and said, "I better exit," and then exited into it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. He said he was on his cell phone, so who knows?
You know, I've pulled into a ditch before thinking it was like a parking spot, and then just
Yeah. I mean, there's-
Luckily, there was a lot of
Mistakes
people
were
at the
made.
bar.
Yeah.
A lot of people at the bar to help push me out of the ditch.
yeah. Get you back on
College.
your way.
Back in college.
Let's get him back on the road. Everyone at the bar.
That's double the legal limit. You make a few mistakes. So now
I drove onto a movie set one time.
Really?
After too many pups. That was bad. Got stopped by the set cop who took my keys out and threw them on my hood and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
You didn't get arrested?
That's
I didn't get arrested because I knew people who were on the set, which is even more embarrassing, and I never did that again.
Oh, mine's more embarrassing. I wasn't drunk. I was driving to the bar. So I had people pushed me out of the ditch, and then I parked in the actual bar parking lot.
Hey,
That's kind of excited.
You got it out of the way when you were sober. That's good.
Yeah, that probably scared you into driving home drunk then. Yeah.
No, I definitely walked home that night.
Out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so now he's facing a DUI and will have to pay for whatever damage he caused to the sign. And guys should see the news video of this. They take it so seriously. One guy smiles and he gets reeled back into the seriousness of it. They got it's like hardcore investigating interviews. People are like, it's scary to think about. And this time it's a sign. Next time, who knows? But let's think. I want to ask you guys to come up. This guy's obviously going to have to deal with this criticism for the rest of his life. You can't hit a drive sober sign. And is someone playing music?
No.
Not me.
What?
That's me. Sorry.
You were playing music to yourself?
Yeah, well,
he's got a tab open.
It was a tab open. Well, okay. Sorry. Well, this music just started playing.
He ratted himself out.
Yeah. Let's think of a good nickname you might call this guy.
I got one.
Yeah. Go for it.
Refusal to obey. Just, refusal to obey is here. Because he didn't obey the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do like a play on bounty hunter, the bounty drunker.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bounty drunker.
Call him the bounty drunker all the time.
Yeah, nickname means they're going to have to get acquainted with him, which I don't want to do. So
I've got a good one.
I don't have anything good.
Call him Ace of Base because it's I saw the sign. That was their hit.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Ace
opened up
of
his eyes.
Base.
Yeah,
I was just going to call him the sign man every time.
Sign man.
Sign man. Sign man.
Real creative.
More on the bounty hunter route.
He's hunting for trouble.
You can call him the mangled Lorian.
That's
the
good.
Mandalorian,
Yes.
except mangled.
The mangled Lorian. I like that. That's a
Yeah.
good one. That's just a good drunk nickname.
Yeah. So that's that one. He's
And bounty hunter. Wow, that's a good one, Will. I like that one.
Here we go. All right, well, Wes, where are we going next, bud?
Yeah, let's go over to the interview with Lane Pittman. All right, guys, it is Florida Man Friday, and we have an extremely special guest with us today, a man who defends our nation's shores against the destruction of one of nature's most lethal natural disasters, using only an American flag, his luscious flowing hair, extreme headbanging, and his extreme love for this country. We are talking about, of course, the hurricane slayer himself, a true patriot, a real-life Florida man, Mr. Lane Pittman. Lane, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for joining us. We are huge fans of your work and dedication. So thank you for your service.
You. What up?
What's up, Blaine?
Yeah, I mean, I don't usually get starstruck, but I'm a little starstruck right now. To be honest.
Oh, please.
although I am surprised that there's not Slayer just pumping in the background, though. That's
right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. I should have got a little bit more set up here, I guess.
Do put together, Lane. God damn it.
I'm sorry. It's been a long week.
Well, so yeah, let's talk about that. How many hurricanes do you beat up a year, generally? How many hurricanes?
As
have
many
you
as I
fought?
can, man. As many as I can.
Yeah.
It's normally one a year. Normally one.
How many? Where are you at? And and what are you doing for a living?
I live in Jacksonville, Florida, and I have my own media company, and I do video work and drone work and social media marketing for other clients and stuff like that. So yeah, it's super fun. Super, super fun. I love it.
Nice.
What made you get into the hurricane fighting business, though? Like, what was it?
It's not really business. It's more of a charity. I don't know, man. That first viral video that went out kind of just like prompted this thing that it is what it is now. Like, I don't know, it morphed into doing like relief work and like raising money for people that have been affected by it. I don't know, just kind of, it started off with a viral video and just kind of morphed into what I'm doing now for it. So
Yeah, Layden, so for the listeners that don't know, you see a hurricane coming, and what's the next move? You strap your flag on, and you go out and you fight that hurricane with the power of liberty and also Slayer. Is that an accurate description? Could you expand upon that?
That's pretty fairly accurate, I would say. Yeah, I literally I just try and track out where it's gonna be because you just I don't know. I usually try and figure it out like a day or two before because
Do you follow the
so
weather?
many different weather people out there.
Is it like a sixth sense, like a gut feeling that you feel that you know a storm's coming? Does your knee swell?
Well, I've grown it. I feel it in my hair. Just tingles,
flapping,
just absolutely tingles. Yeah, just living in Florida and seeing years and years of hurricane seasons. You kind of can guesstimate, like, hey, this thing's probably going to shift a little bit more west or a little bit more east, depending on where they're initially tracking it. So I kind of get a rough guesstimate. This past one was definitely the furthest I've traveled to go fight a hurricane. It was it was a lot of driving. It was
the
like
other end of
26
Louisiana.
hours of driving within
that's far from Florida.
Dude, it was ridiculous. We initially were like, all right, we're going to stop in like Pensacola, which is like 5 hours from Jack's, like a halfway mark. And we're like, all right, we're going to get find the closest turbulence we can, film this puppy and get back. And dude, just like the wind that we were finding on the backside of this hurricane was not enough. So
it sucks driving through that.
Dude, we had to literally chase this hurricane through Louisiana parallel with it to get in front of it to be able to film an adequate video.
It was a good video, though. You were up to your waist.
Thanks.
That was pretty good.
Thanks, man.
Did you fight it though? Did it work? I mean, did you shut that?
Yeah. I drove. Me and my buddy Houston. We drove through the eye of the hurricane. We were literally driving right next to the wall, and I looked over and I saw just like a different looking cloud. Very very thick black like. And then, like, behind it was just, like, a bunch of light. And I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure that's the eye of the hurricane. He's like, no way. We'd lost service. And finally, he got service back, and he pulled up his radar, and it was the eye. So I was like, middle. Dude, we're going through it. We got to go through
it. How many times have you seen the movie Twister?
Oh, I grew up watching that movie. It's great, man. I mean, I haven't seen it in a while. But, there's something dude, Twisters, those are tornadoes, twisters, whatever you want to call them. Those are terrifying, more terrifying to me than a hurricane ever will be. So those things are just like, they call them the fingers of God for a reason,
Oof.
What's your mental prep like before you actually fight the storm? Like, what's your ritual?
So I listen to a lot of, I don't smoke weed or anything, but I listen to a lot of stoner metal before going into like something. It's like almost like the ramp going into like something a little bit more gnarly.
What's some suggestions you have for stoner metal? I might be into that.
Oh, dude. Okay, so there's two bands that I really, really like for stoner metal. One band is ASG. They're out of North Carolina. They're pretty sweet. But my all-time favorite stoner metal album is Age of Winners by The Sword, and that album is like to me just the epitome.
That's awesome. That sounds amazing.
That's what I need to listen to usually to just get fired up on stuff.
I got punched in the face at a Sword concert one time.
That's sick. I've not gotten to see them live yet.
It wasn't cool because I was filming it. And the guy punched me, but then I hit him in the head with my camera after that. So,
does everyone just scream "sword" after they slug someone? Sword!
No, he made like a and then like they had to call a paramedic in there. But he punched my camera first, so I felt
nice.
Like
why? Like that's just so.
Because bro, he was getting down.
Just how it goes in the sword pit.
You know that, bro.
Were you in the pit, or were you? Like,
I was shooting right above the pit. It was a performance at Waterloo Records in Austin, Texas, an outdoor performance, and I was on a chair, and I thought the encore happened, so I put my camera. I thought the show was done. I put my camera down. The encore happened, so I was in the pit. Then I came down off my chair, and dude was like, I have it on camera.
Watch out!
I just heard some loud thunder.
Yeah, me too.
Do you think it was an intentional punch?
Yeah, Lane. He thought I was a hurricane.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I just heard some loud thunder. Wes said he did too in Austin. We might need you to get to Austin, Texas stat, Lane. I don't know if it's a hurricane, but
that's an even further drive. Holy shit.
Hey,
something's going on out there.
I ain't driving that.
That's a long drive. Hey, speaking of
wish us luck. We'll try to channel our Lane.
But speaking of how big the Gulf Coast is, Lane, are you a football fan? And if so, which teams do you support?
Well, kind of funny you bring that up because I have been a diehard Jaguar fan. Like, obviously, Jacksonville, we're a small market team. We've always felt like it's us against the world, but man, dude, they have made some really dumb decisions these past couple
really
years.
bad, right?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, they cut Leonard Fournette. Dude. I see
Yeah.
your Tigers
Just
shirt.
recently.
They cut, dude. I love Leonard Fournette, man. I still love him. I still love him, man. He lives out here at the beach, and he's a good dude. Very dedicated, very loyal, very productive.
We're a big
player.
LSU pod, so you don't have to convince us on Leonard.
Yeah, I
Dude,
mean,
go
I know,
Tigers. Go
I
Tigers.
know he only averaged like 4.2 or whatever, but he had another 1,100-yard season. I mean, what the fuck do you want from the guy? He's had
Dude, and
3,000-yard
from
seasons.
the Jaguars too, man. Like, we don't have a good offensive line. We don't have
Right.
much of really anything
That was
to
a
be
mistake.
stoked about. It was so dumb, dude. I like, this is the year that I'm like, you know what? I support the Jaguars, but I can't support this front office. And I'm probably not going to be watching too many Jaguar games this season. I'm going to be a Bucks fan. I've decided.
There you go.
I'm going to cheer for Leonard Fournette and be super pumped what that guy's going to be.
I just
doing.
feel like hurricane season every year is like a uniting force for the states of the Gulf Coast, and then every football season we immediately start hitting each other again. Right?
Oh
afterwards.
yeah. I mean, I'm a Gator fan too. I mean, I'm not as diehard as I have.
What teams
been,
in Florida
lie,
don't
but
you like, Lane?
Don't I like in Florida?
'cause
Florida
I
State
don't really
sounds
care
like-
I don't FSU. Yeah, bump them. I don't care too much about the Dolphins down in Miami. It's not like I hate them. I just don't really care about them.
Little
Yeah,
rivalry.
I don't know. Like I like Florida. If you're from Florida, I gave you some props. If you're not FSU,
Are you a Hurricanes guy?
if you are FSU, I should say.
My wife's a FSU and from Tampa. I won't tell her about that.
Lane, I gotta ask you, why did you choose Slayer to fight the Hurricane? Did you ever think about the Scorpions rock you like a hurricane, or it's raining men by the weather girls?
I mean, look, I love the Scorps, but it's just not that. They're not that heavy, man. Like, let's just be honest.
How did you pick?
I love hair metal, but it's not something like, I don't know. I grew up on hair metal. Like, my dad raised me on 80s hair metal, and I think it's awesome. But I don't know, man. Like, Slayer is like, when you think of like thrash metal, like it's Slayer. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna go out and just like tear up a hurricane, like I need something to thrash to, and it's not like the Scorps. You know?
Have you considered Megadeth?
I'm not too big on Megadeth. Actually, dude, this last hurricane, I picked kind of a smaller band. This is the first time I changed up the music on any of these videos, and actually, it went pretty good. I had a few people that were like, "Who didn't pick Slayer? I'm not supporting this guy anymore." You read the Reddit comments, but I picked this band. They're based out of Alabama. They're called Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, and the first off their first album or whatever they put out, the very first song is just like a very aggressive scream right off the bat, and I was like, you know what, that's a good little shock and awe value. Like, let's do that one.
Lane,
Nice.
are you fearless, or is there anything that freaks you out? Will you not go into like a hurricane near a bullet factory, or like near a knife factory, or are you don't care?
I can't. You're kind of breaking up a little bit.
I was
Like
saying,
shrapnel? Are you?
are you fearless? Like, would you run into a hurricane that was going by a bullet factory or a knife factory, or do you just not care?
If those existed.
I'm fairly calculated when I do these things. I'm getting married in December, and I don't
congrats.
think my fiance would be too stoked. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I don't think my fiance would be too stoked if I started off our marriage on without a piece of my body or injured or something like that. So I got to be somewhat careful. There was on this last one, there was like a metal shed, and it was like flapping in the wind. Like, there's pieces of it that definitely could have flown off. And I was like, yeah, we just got to be mindful of that. Don't get hit by that.
What's the craziest thing you've seen in hurricane related?
Dadgummit. I can't hear anybody.
Oh,
Hear us
shit.
now? Hey, repeat that. I'm sorry. I got
It's all
such
good.
bad service.
We can edit this. What's the craziest thing you've seen in a hurricane, though? Like,
Biggest thing I've seen in a
Yeah.
hurricane. Dude, it's wild, but maybe not in a hurricane. But maybe the aftermath of hurricanes is like, dude, it looks like a bomb has gone off in some of these places, and it's just like, that's kind of what compelled me to do like hurricane relief is just like, dude, these places are going to be recovering for years and they're like never going to be the same probably. And just like seeing what metal does with like high wind velocity and just like how it can be contorted and like, I don't know if that's the right word, how it can be just freaking, just mess things up, man. And just seeing like massive billboards, like this past one in Lake Charles, like big old thick steel, like billboards, like through people's houses, like cut them in half. Like, it's gnarly what you see, after the fact of it. I've never been in the path of a Cat 5. I don't wish to be in the path of a Cat 5 just after seeing what it does. I mean, I would probably go and film a video.
Lane, what if it needs you? I mean, like,
I'll be there. I mean,
Yeah.
let's just be honest.
Were you not old enough? Were you not old enough to be in New Orleans for Katrina? Or? Yeah.
No. I was probably in middle school when that hit. So I mean, this was all like a very distant thing.
But yeah, it changes the city forever. You know, when a big one comes
totally.
through, it definitely you're never quite the same after that.
Lane, I got a non-hurricane question for you. So, you know, we don't get to talk to the native, you know, Florida men that often, and we love Florida on this podcast, but we also give it a hard time. You know, being a Florida man, what is your favorite thing that you like? Maybe one of your favorite things about Florida that people from the outside might shit on that you think is just absolutely that you love. Like, what if you were to pick one thing about Florida, you know, that you
I'd have to say the people. Like, I know people like outside of Florida don't like, they look at us like we're freaking nuts. But we're just, I don't know, man. I all of my neighbors, I live in a not like super great area, but it's not like super bad either. But dude, everybody is like really nice. Everybody looks out for each other. I have great neighbors. I have a great community here in Jacksonville. All parts of it. I think we're the biggest city land-wise. So we have very different groups and sides of town. And I feel like I can go to just about any sides of those towns besides maybe like one really shady area. But I mean, every city's got that. But I really do feel like there's good people here, and I don't think we get enough credit for having good people here. So that's my 2 cents.
Absolutely. All right, you guys have any more questions?
last one, Lane. Did you send the video of you fighting hurricanes to your high school guidance counselor or anyone else to show them like, hey, yeah, Lane did it. You were wrong about Lane.
You're wrong about me. No, I actually, funny story. I was actually a substitute teacher for a few years, just between traveling and like trying to figure out what I want to do in life. And I subbed quite often where I graduated high school from. And I have pretty good rep there, man. Like all the guidance counselors.
Well, it makes
like,
sense. You went on to be an American
I was
hero.
a pretty good student.
Yeah. Your rep is still amazing. Yeah.
Oh man.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, man. So I was more worried about, like, I'm a youth leader at my church. I've been doing that for like past 10 years probably. And I was more worried about, like, not even what my pastors were going to think. I was more worried about like what the parents were going to think. And like, you're being this example for my kids to go out and be dangerous and play in this storm and blah, 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 blah. I mean, when you put yourself out there, you're going to get haters no matter what you do. Like, there's going to be like, even if it's something majority that's like great and awesome, like you'll still have that 1% of people that just want to throw shade in there for no
fuck them. We love what you're doing.
And
Bruce Wayne knows the same pain.
Man.
Peter Parker feels it too.
If anyone's got a problem with you taking your shirt off, planting an American flag, and headbanging into the storm, they're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping us safe, Lane.
Yeah. Well, Lane, we really appreciate you coming on. We have
that's what I think too, man.
We have kind of a special request, and if you're not up for it, just tell us. But we would like to send you a hard factor flag. Now, we under no circumstances want you to fight a hurricane with just the powers of a hard factor flag. Only an American flag will suffice for that. But for our own selfish pleasure and the fact that we feel it would be fucking amazing to have a video of you fighting a hurricane with a hard factor flag, would you be willing? Maybe we make a donation to your favorite charity, something like that. Is that something you might be willing to do for us, Lane?
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for doing fun things like that. Like
Sweet.
that sounds like a good time to me. So
Hell
Flag's
yeah.
in the mail, Lane. Flag is in the mail.
And what is that charity?
Come on.
What charity would you
Yeah,
donate
tell
to
us.
for Hurricane?
Yeah.
Honestly, I do all of my own relief work, so I just make a GoFundMe, and like we just got back from Lake Charles yesterday is when we drove in. We drove back from it, so I take pictures of all the receipts and like however much money we spend and flip in, put it out there and go and buy. Like I have a few contacts with the Cajun Navy, Cajun Army, and Special Forces or whatever they got going on out there. And I'm like, hey, what do people really need? What are some items that we can bring that you're not getting? And so they give us a list of stuff. We load up the truck and we drive out there, drop them off, and then give some manual labor, some good old muscle.
We'll contribute to your relief
And,
fund. Then. Yeah.
There you go. Come on. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. I feel like when you donate to some charities and stuff, you just don't know where that money.
You never know. Yeah. If it's
I'm
They're
always
all on
worried
the
about
up and up.
those things.
Yeah. Well, shit, Lane, we really appreciate you having you on, man.
for
You're a
sure.
fucking awesome dude, and really appreciate all the work you're out there doing with relief and keeping us safe from hurricanes. So, stay safe out there while you are slaying hurricanes, and we hope to have you back on the show next time, sometime soon.
Come on. Let's
Appreciate
go,
it, man.
man. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Later,
All right,
buddy.
Lane.
Lane.
Take
All right,
care.
y'all take it easy.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
All right, that was an awesome talk with Lane. Can't wait to see him waving that hard factor flag one day. What a charitable dude. Way more like into charity and doing all that stuff than I realized before. I thought it was just
Yeah, he's
cool
not a
dude.
wreck. I thought he was going to be like a wreck, a guy that
Nice guy.
he's actually really put together.
Really
nice
the
guy.
opposite of that. Yeah.
Google Lane. If you don't know what he does exactly, Google him so you can see these videos. You may have seen them before because they went super viral, but they're awesome.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Wes, what would you call him? Hurricane Man?
Hey, Sign Man is perfect. What's up, Sign Man?
Sign Man's
That
terrible.
gets
Yeah, it's
him.
pretty
No,
bad.
That's a good one. Trust me.
You
Pretty
came
bad.
up with the nickname, and that was what you had. You
Sign
sat
Man.
on.
I don't
you
need
were
a
sit-
play. I don't need
you
a
were
play
sitting
on
Simon.
words. What did you say? What was yours?
Ace of
The
base,
mangled
baby.
lo-
Yeah,
the
yeah,
mangled
okay, that's
DeLorean.
much better.
Yeah, that was
Sign
kind
Man.
of fucked up, Wes. You shot a text to the group text. You were like, "Hey guys, think of a punchline for this." I was assuming you were saying that because you had a great one.
No,
I
he had
stand by
he was-
Sign
he was
Man
sitting
is
on
something
Sign
that
Man.
will Sign Man will stick. Would stick way better than your shitty. Hey, Ace of Base guy, whatever the fuck it is. Sign Man.
At least
Sign
this man's
At least
Ace of Base.
What's up, Sign Man? I'm
Ace of
telling
Base
you.
at least makes you think.
I'm telling you.
Come on.
Sign Man.
Sign Man. Here he is. Sign Man.
Like, yeah, because you totally get exactly what happened from the fucking nickname Sign Man. It makes total sense.
Yeah, no stranger even needs to ask what's going on. If Ace of Base, you gotta be like, tell me why you call him Ace of Base. No one cares about Sign Man.
Oh yeah, Sign Man is great.
Clearly explains it all.
Yeah.
All
What
right.
is he? Is he deaf or okay? All right,
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Sign Man.
It's time for 5-star reviews and voicemails. Let's get through them, boys, because we've been backing them up. I want to clear the backlog today before we end the week. So, first 5-star review is from Kid Uptown Boss, and it says, "A black man within the hive." All right, there we go.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely love the show. Pat/the Beeve is the reason I'm a daily listener. Nice. These guys keep it real, always giving listeners a look behind the curtain. They don't seem fake at all. They try to keep their take on politics neutral. However, the cast isn't too diverse for middle-aged white guys. Fair point, but they do try. The main reason I'm writing these reviews is because I want them to read this on the show and actually have a take or discussion on the NYU segregation story. These cowards all gave a no comment, LOL, HAGFD. So he's calling back to say, remember, guys, we did a story recently where they're putting in.
I'll comment on
you know,
it. I think it's a bad idea. I think that if you want to do that, go join like a fraternity or something like that. I think that where does it stop? Do the Asians get a hall? Do the Spanish people get a hall? And then the best part of growing up open-minded is when, I had a diverse friend group. So it's easier to have a diverse friend group when you have a mixed
Absolutely.
dorm. So there you go. My comment on it is I think it's stupid.
Me too. I agree with Mark.
How am I going to learn about good music if I can't potentially have a black roommate? That's because I learned a lot
That's what I'm
about
saying.
good music from my black roommate in
I
college.
know. I know people that were, I'm going to say potentially racist, that aren't after they were introduced to some friends of mine in college, and that's because we had mixed halls.
Yeah.
However, the point was justified, which the black college experience of just being a black person generally in America is probably real tough, especially when you're going to like an all-white college, and understood that you might want support there. So but again, Mark, that's what you said. Fraternities or black student union or clubs or any sort of organization, which there are millions of on college campuses.
Absolutely. I support them, the learning the culture and being proud and all that stuff. But I think that the dorm room thing is stupid.
Sticking with my original take, dumb as shit, agree. I think that like the locker room in sports is one of the places where racism is defeated the most.
Right.
And so
agreed.
You don't
Sports
get that
is
without
huge,
people mixing. So
more diversity mixing, not less, is what I would recommend. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Next 5-star review from Will888. It just says, awesome. This podcast is awesome. It needs to be full time. Love it. Next 5-star review from Jeff Creek. And I've got to say this before I read it. We have to read all 5-star reviews that are new. And I don't think this guy has written one before. So I'll go. The title is, Oh Boya, I Love Goya. My name is Will Smith, and I love Goya beans. While I'm on the subject of Mexican food, the best taco bowls are made in Trump Tower Grill. I love Hispanics. So there you go, Jeff.
All right.
It was on your day. That's awesome.
Yeah. Twisted Fang, he submitted a 5-star review, he or she. But you see, I've seen your reviews before. You can't submit multiples. If it was flattering, I'd read it again. But this one is not. And it was about the Wisconsin situation. Let's just say, regardless how you feel about what happened in Wisconsin recently, let's all agree to send our love that way because it's fucked up all around what went down there last week. Let's move on to voicemails. Speaking of Wisconsin, let's take it over to Wisconsin for Eli. He's got a solid brain buster for us to kick it off.
Hey man, it's Eli calling back from Wisconsin. I was just talking with my roommate and we kind of came up with a question. So like, how long do you think it is until like Apple per se, starts censoring words in the keyboard, like vulgar terms that are unsocially just? They're just going to like star out and you can't unchange it. Do you think it's going to happen in the near future or not? Let me know what you think. Bye-bye.
Not at all.
No, that's
See,
That's
the
freedom of
difference,
speech, baby.
Eli. The difference is, Eli. There's a platform, and then there's an organization, right? So Apple has clearly chosen their position as a platform because they're a tech and software provider, whereas you have like someone like Facebook who is trying to figure it out, or Twitter who is like kind of dancing the line. I think Facebook is the most egregious actor. They've been flip-flopping back and forth. You saw Twitter kind of doing a little something with the fact checking. That's them on the line, but Apple is a platform. That's my opinion.
I hopefully not at all freedom of speech, but luckily the neural net and like being a cyborg is shortly on the way, so you could just overpower it, brute force it with your brain soon.
There you go.
Also, next voicemail. I don't have time to play all the voicemails, everybody. I do want to catch up. Some of them are longer, but I will ask the questions that you submitted. Caleb from Maine, he laid out, now this was a super long voicemail, historically how dairy products users have been dominant in global trade, like from the beginning of time. And basically, Pat, he said you're a stone cold moron for your take on Big Milk.
I listened to the voicemail. It was good. He was essentially saying that the reason we drink milk is because of natural selection. So the people that drank milk were selected and their genes carried on and they were more successful.
Yeah, it was strong. I thought it was a great argument. It's just,
I think he was talking about the Genghis Khan clan. That's the.
Are you ready to give up your stance?
Yeah, are you ready to admit cheese is okay?
You ready to admit you're wrong?
Oh my God! And I want to take issue because I listened to the whole voicemail. He thought I was shitting on dairy products, and I'm not. I love dairy products. I think they're fantastic because
but Big Milk is certainly at the center of dairy products, is it not?
The
You think
reason
milk's
that
disgusting, don't you?
I think drinking a full glass of another animal's milk is gross. I also think that if you knew what some of the dairy farming practices were, you might think that too. Sometimes there's blood in your milk.
Says the guy that like eats fast food.
Yeah, this is a bad.
Yeah,
every
that's
time
every-
you're a flip flopper.
Yeah, come on.
You know,
I've seen the food you order to your house. You think those? Come on, you can't use that like the practices of cleanliness and stuff. Come on.
And you know who's a verified milk lover is our El Presidente. He was on Instagram doing a cookie review and was just lamenting about how he didn't have any milk to be dunking his cookies in.
Now you're going against Dave, Pat.
I bet he had gas later. But no, and shout out to Tanner and shout out to Adam, dairy farmer Adam.
Yeah. All right, and shout out to Caleb from Maine for that last one. All right, this next one, boys, is from Bob the Ripper. We're going to get a little update here.
What's up, boys? It's Bob the Ripper. Man, a lot of good real estate down there in North Carolina. You know, mostly just in Jim from North Carolina's head. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway,
Josh.
Calling him some bad news this time, boys. The Office saga I've been trying to keep you guys posted on is come to a conclusion, and one that left Bob the Ripper here unemployed. No. So yeah, tough times. Been a bummer week, but looking for a new office to terrorize with my ass. Just wondering if you guys have any experience with the job market. I know you guys have worked a bunch of jobs, and I'm sure you got a lot of listeners out there that probably in the same situation that I am right now. But yeah, love to hear some. I don't know if any advice would be some good content here, but maybe some like funny job interview stories or something. I don't know. Anyway, love the show. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. Sorry to hear about losing the job, Bob, but can't say that we're all shocked.
I hope it wasn't because
some of the voicemails we've played previously about the situation.
Do you think it was because of the shitting?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it helped.
It was definitely because of what he did in the bathroom.
Bob though, Bob the Ripper is a guy who sounds like he's going to land on his feet. He's going to find something
smart
new
guy.
Here, so. Yeah.
Charming.
Right. Sorry you lost the job, because hopefully it didn't have to do with the shit saga. Yeah. Funny interview stories, guys. You got any?
Yeah. I got one. So in the town we all grew up in, Herndon, there's that community center, and my buddy Dave got signed on to be the director of the community center. And I was trying to get a job at like the front desk. Like I was in between jobs, and so he stole.
I worked there.
Yeah, he stole all the interview questions from his boss that I was going to be asked
to prep you for a front desk community center job. Wow.
That's amazing.
Yes, yeah.
You're a little stressed he couldn't handle the heat.
That's amazing.
Well, he's like, some of them are weird. Like one of them was like, if you could be any animal, what would you be and why? And I was like, oh, I know what I'm. So I went with river otter. Because
you remember what you want? Wow.
Oh yeah, because he lives on that land and the sea, takes advantage of all environments, that kind of thing. So
he's like this guy's overqualified, Dave. Your friend's overqualified for this.
Oh, the interview went amazing.
Yeah. He crushed this interview. It was incredible.
Yeah, I never ended up working there because I got a different job, but it was hilarious. It was hard to keep because Dave was in there with me, so it was hard to keep a straight face to like pretend like I was. Oh, that's an interesting question. Never heard that one before.
I have one on the other side as an interviewer. There was a panel. It was a panel interview, and we were interviewing for a pretty high level job, and a bunch of awesome candidates came in. And one guy, I don't want to get into too many details, but he had a European accent, and he worked for a gambling. He did IT for a gambling thing. I don't want to get him in trouble or anything like that. But the thing divulged into just us asking him if the lottery was rigged and how to rig the lottery, and it was just like
that's always fun.
90% of the interview was just like gushing over his.
Did he get the job? Did he get the job?
I don't want to talk about details.
He didn't get the offer. Well, so I conducted a shitload of interviews back in my corporate life. And I would say the funniest thing is always when somebody is way overconfident. Overconfidence is probably the number one. You look like a douchebag to the interviewee or interviewer. Like if you never stop talking the entire time, you think you know everything about their business before you know anything. To me, that was the biggest turnoff. So, all right. Next voicemail.
Good luck, Bob.
Yeah, you'll get it, Bob.
Hiya, this is Bree from Minnesota. I'm another female listener. and actually another girlfriend that got into their podcast via their boyfriend, Adam from Minnesota. Just finished Wednesday's podcast, and the first 20-minute intro of bullying made me want to ask you guys a question. Have you ever heard of Caliper CBD? Tastes way better than tinctures, dissolves basically instantly. You can mix it with anything. I even found this promo code for you guys. Try Factor for 20% off your first order. Have a better day than Wednesday. Thanks.
Got us.
Thanks, Bree. That was good.
I love her
That's
accent.
awesome.
I love a Minnesota accent.
Yeah, that was good.
That was funny.
Bree.
You got us, Bree.
She did get us. Also, one of the contenders for my child's name. Ooh, so.
Bree. All right.
Yeah, it's
cool.
on the list. Yeah. So
Can you give us one more that's on the list?
What a delicious name.
yeah, right. I think we're a little worried about that. The cheese jokes. I don't know. Other than that, we're also considering Olivia. But
I like Olivia.
We're also considering Asiago and
Little Munster. Limburger.
yeah, but I don't know. I like them all. Also, our shout out Taylor, mutual friend Taylor, said he reminded me recently that name can go either way. So he said name it after him. Name her.
We know cool girl and guy Taylors. Usually that person ends up pretty cool, whether it's a girl or a guy. Yeah,
True.
It's true. And speaking of girls, another female listener, Ryan in Dallas, she's sent in a bunch of voicemails before. It was hard to hear this one, but I could make out. She wished Pat happy birthday for last Friday and asked us, do we have any good sex stories or losing our virginity stories? So, anybody? I've got one. Anybody else got one before I go?
I mean,
no, mine was perfect. She made me feel so relaxed and was very gentle. It was just the perfect setting. It was, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, the only interesting thing about mine was, and I think three of you guys were there. We in the other hotel room. But what did we do? We got our girl group from prom. They worked at a hair salon, right? Which always has some questionable characters working there. So they asked their bosses, like the older women that worked at the hair salon, to buy us booze, right? So we put in our booze order. It was cool. It was like you put in a proper liquor order, which was,
that was a fun prom.
Right. Except the problem is, so we went to prom and we rented 2 rooms at the Hampton. And this is after Will and I tried 3 or 4 times to go into different hotels ahead of time to get rooms and pretty much got bounced out of every single one of them. Like Will and I had like elaborate schemes. We walked into one. We're like, yeah, like, our parents are doing this like retreat and we want
because they didn't want prom people there.
And they were like, get the fuck out, kids. Anyway, we ended up at a Hampton Inn on the highway and the rooms were not adjoining. So we got there and like, I guess the women that had bought us the booze like hung out there for a while. So like half the booze was drinking by the time we got there by the adults that bought it for us. Yeah. But then other than that, for me, it was a magical
nice.
3 minutes.
I did not lose my virginity that night. I lost it later on. Pat, you were right. You said I was a late bloomer on radio yesterday. And I lost it a few years later after a party. But I hadn't told, like, it was just with a girl that I had, like, we weren't dating or anything. And she puked. She went down on me and
it was that bad.
Well, it must have been
she
terrible.
went down on me and puked. Holy shit.
But it was like a little bit. It was just a little bit on me. So I was like, I'm good. Like we're good. But she was hammered and she was like, so she like cleaned everything up. Like and then came back and was like, no, you're not finished. And I was like, and so I was like, all right, let's finish it off.
That's like the 40-year-old virgin thing with Judd Apatow's wife.
Holy moly.
I'll still have sex with you after she throws up.
Right. Yeah, I was like, all right, okay. I mean, you don't have to. Not much got on me, but
That's impressive.
You got
to top in that.
Was there a lot of reevaluation when you took your pants down and then there was a vomit?
What do you mean? Like,
I'm kidding. The vomit was related to her being drunk, not because your dong smelled or anything, right?
No, it was like a gagging thing. Yeah, it was she went down, gagged.
We should end it on that note.
Yeah,
they can't beat that.
One more. We got to catch up.
Okay,
Finally, the grease tank dialed in from Cleveland and asked, "What was our MySpace theme songs then, and what would they be now?" His were Slipknot then and Ted Nugent now. So you get the grease tags vibe there. Mine was definitely something about weed. I don't know, but what about you guys?
I think mine was
I
like
don't remember.
Toots and the Maytals, probably, because I was like trying to be very I was trying to be very cool. Like, oh, I'm not going to do something mainstream. I'll do something like old and reggae or ska. But yeah,
Mine was probably an Outkast song.
Yeah, I don't remember. I wasn't a huge MySpace guy. I was more Facebook back in the day, but I don't remember. I had a song, but it was.
I know my background image was Sean Taylor. That was
I didn't do any of that, like any of the specialty things. It was just like bare bones and like one of my favorite songs.
Just a
We're running
stalking
along, so
platform.
I'll answer what our song today would be. It would be Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor this week. As always, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you in the Hard Ohio for tuning in and sticking with us through this insane news. All these years we've been doing the show and hopefully years to come. Good news. We're going to be back on XM Radio, Sirius Power 85, at least through the end of September on Barstool Radio. So keep checking in with us there as well, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 11 Eastern right now, Monday through Thursday.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, sign up. I think they still have free promos. It's definitely a fun radio show, just like this, but different content. Also, be sure to follow Barstool News Network, Hard Factor News, Hard Factor Mark, Pat, Wes, and Will on Twitter and Instagram, and have a great fucking day and weekend.